Jeffrey Hinton is known as the godfather of artificial intelligence. His research for a very long time in the years past has helped in the advancement of technological development. I mean, he has gone a long way to help in facial recognition, voice recognition. Of recent, we have the innovation coming in of ChatGPT. We even have the Google Chat. But over time, the Godfather has been raising a lot of concerns over the threats of artificial intelligence. And for those of us that don't know, simply put, artificial intelligence, we're talking about machines doing what humans can do. The Godfather has been raising a lot of dust that there are lots of threats that will be coming from artificial intelligence. Hence, we begin to talk about tackling some of the issues that will or may be coming from artificial intelligence. The program is Digital Access. It's a platform where we teach you how to enhance your digital skills. My name is Phnc Kennedy. It's brought to you from NTA Port Harcourt. You can watch us on Star Times, Channel 102, or follow us on our official platform, Facebook platforms, where we're at NTA PH Channel 10. Today, we're looking at tackling the issues surrounding artificial intelligence. And you know how we do it. I have my guest in person of Stuart Ezekiel. He is the team leader of Havoc Tech Hub. Did I get that?
Yes.
Yes. Havoc Tech. Good to have you.
Nice.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How has the tech world been? Let me just start from there.
Of course, it's amazing. It's interesting.
Okay. You are always doing technological advancement, dealing with things. The experience, how will you explain it?
I think basically I would say it's number one is exciting.
Okay.
And it comes with its own unique challenges. But for every challenge you surmount, you're excited.
Okay.
But what makes it more interesting is the fact that you wake up every morning and realize that you can create solutions.
You can create solutions.
And you can help people create solutions. And so that makes it very fun.
Okay. Let's go further. Artificial intelligence. We've been celebrating it. It's right. Always celebrated on what artificial intelligence has been doing for us.
Awesome.
Just a quick one, just to highlight on some of the advancement of artificial intelligence in our tech world.
Okay, so just like you mentioned earlier on, some persons must have been hearing AI. So that's AI. What artificial intelligence is. But whether we like it or not, over time, the world has never been stagnant. Okay, so there's always been changes. I mean, there was a time when people were just walking, there was no bicycle. So bicycle came, and before you know it, there was car, and then you have airplane. So people, our generation might not believe that. I mean, there was a time people didn't have cars at all, right? So it's the same thing in tech, majorly. There will always be like an improvement. In short, the whole idea of AI started almost around 1956. So it's been a long time. But over time, there's been improvement. But what happened is that technology is always trying to make things a whole lot easier. Okay, so that's where AI comes. I mean, we've been doing these things, so how can we make it a little bit more easier? And that happens basically because of what we call data. So people hear a whole lot about data. That's why if you notice recently, there is this hike in people trying to acquire data analytics skills, data science skills, right? So, and when people hear data, most times to them it's as if this is 1 gig, this 1 gig data will buy or 100 megabyte from MTN and stuff like that. But that's not what it is. I mean, if I collect your name, your phone number, email address through a website, that's your data, right? So what happens over time is that we can build this data, train this data to start behaving in a certain way, all right? So it's more like you've studied that, by 10 o'clock this person walks in. All right,
and it's been programmed to do that.
So we can now say, okay, the moment it's 10 o'clock and the door opens, know that it's this person. That's because you studied this data over time. We're talking about billions and billions of data, right? So people are using Siri today. That's actually AI. Alexa is AI. Of course, ChatGPT now, AI, automated vehicles and all that. That's AI. So it's been a very interesting ride.
Now, what you just did, you just gave us what and what they are. When we talk about their advantages to man, and why they are good, I just wanted you to highlight on that.
Okay, so
especially for people that don't really have a knowledge of what we're talking about. Simply put, like you go into a house, we have where instead of just going to the switch, you clap your hands and the light comes in. You understand? We have in our kitchens, you're able to just press buttons and voila, now we have wash disher and all of that. And you go in, these are simple things. Now if we come to our companies, we have all these things. I'm saying that so that people will really understand the advantages of what AI can do.
I think basically I personally belong to the school of thought that believes that AI is amazing.
Okay.
The advantages are enormous, but like I said earlier on, what the main intention is to help you, do whatever you want to do a whole lot easier. Save time, right? Save cost. Okay. So, for example, let's take a situation where I'm supposed to carry out a whole lot of activities over time, and now there's a simple machine that says no, instead of you doing this and this machine can help you do it. So that's an advantage. Today everybody's making noise about ChatGPT, for example. Okay, Google just released Bard. So what happens in ChatGPT is that normally I would have gone to search for NTA Port Harcourt on Google, right? But now I just go to ChatGPT and say, create an article for me about NTA Port Harcourt. Okay, and ChatGPT can just do that for me. All right, there is a downside to it, and I believe we'll talk about it later. But that's one area that it comes in. So the same thing happens in voice recognition. Okay, so it can actually, enhance security. That's one other aspect that is very critical. It can actually enhance security because this time around, if I'm using voice recognition, definitely know that this is the person talking.
Now for those of you that are just tuning in, this is Digital Access, and we're talking about something very trending. Of recent, the godfather of artificial intelligence, like Mr. Stewart is actually saying, the person that actually innovated that idea recently resigned from Google, and the reason is because he has perceived some threats that are going to be coming from artificial intelligence. He has raised a lot of concern. Most media, international bodies are actually talking about it. He's believing and saying that over time, if cautions are not put in place, man is going to go I don't know why you I actually had to do some writing so that because I had to follow it up, and I said, what exactly is he talking about? It's like somebody that initiated an idea and everybody has embraced it, and over time, in the middle or in the apex of the whole thing where everybody is, clamoring for it, and he comes and say, voila, this thing you have to caution, and not even now, but in years to come, And one of the things that Geoffrey talked about, he talked about the risks of producing a lot of fake news and nobody will know the truth anymore. There are some artificial intelligence, right, that has your voice recognition, its ability to mimic somebody's voice, and you will not know that that's not the person. AI can do that, and we have facial recognition. In fact, we have some AIs now that can take your face and make you to talk as if it's actually you, but it's not you. In fact, there are so many things that I don't. You talked about making diversity, speed, to be able to do a particular task over and over again. You understand? He talked about that over time people will no longer, have jobs, and it will only favor the rich. And then he also said that majorly the risk of super intelligence, which is one of his greatest concerns. Now, for those of us that are there just watching us, artificial intelligence is able to bring in like 2 to 3 like brains together to make the machine to act in a super intelligent way, so very fast, so much that it can tell you. In fact, there's one that is recent. We have Elon Musk coming in. I have to get that picture done if the media can help us with that. Elon Musk came in with this robot wife, he calls it, which is also trending. He calls it his robot wife. They said it's going to be unveiled. The final stage is on. He's going to unveil it. Now, what this robot is going to do for you is going to act like a wife to you. Every attribute of a woman, that's what that robot is going to do, and that's part of what Geoffrey is talking about. In fact, of recently, there's also the wearable device. They call it wearable device, and you put it on your body and you are able to make calls with it. The device can even tell you what is good for your body, for your health, and what is not good for your health. You just put it on your palm and you just make call, and voila. Now, all these things Geoffrey has now come to talk about, that is a threat. Let's talk about the threats.
Okay, so I want us to start like this. Okay, so
I really don't know what.
When there was no smartphone.
Yeah, there was.
Okay, so have you ever imagined what happened when you pick up your smartphone, type in "how are you" and you say send, and it appears exactly like that in someone else's phone, right? So let's start from the fake news issue.
The issues, yeah.
So if you research, you realize that there's never been any time when fake news started moving downwards. Okay. It's always been on the increase.
Okay.
Right. So what happens is that as more technology comes in, so let's take for example the social revolution. So as a result of social media,
advancement.
So we can now see more fake news. It wasn't like that when we just had only television and radio. Okay, so now I can just go right now on my social media and type in Governor Wike just whatever, right? And then it might not be true, but it wasn't like that before. Okay, so that means bringing in social media, we now have an increase, okay, of
that's one of his fears.
Okay, so now the truth about it is this, and this is why I was laughing. I totally agree with Geoffrey.
Okay.
Right, but my problem is, I think the focus is on the wrong things. The problem is not the artificial intelligence. The problem is the humans.
Yeah, because we have to be asking ourselves, do we blame the people making the machines or we blame the machines?
Exactly. So let's think about, you have a knife at home, but you've never been charged for murder. So what's the difference between you and the guy that used knife yesterday to kill somebody? It's still knife, right? So if we keep pushing our focus about the tools, then we're indirectly saying as humans, we should stop thinking. Humans will never stop. We're always going to look for a faster way to get things done. Technologies will continue to improve. It is now up to we as humans, one, to become more intentional about building character and morals. Two, and then think of how government will begin to regulate. For example, what happened in Nigeria with blockchain. Right? So it's the same thing. US, even the European Union are doing the same thing now. They're looking at what kind of rules are we going to bring in. We know guns kill people. So who are those producing them? So countries had to come up with rules and say, hey, you can't pass here with gun. You need a license. Okay, so they need to come up with rules, regulations, policies that can be able to do those things.
Okay, now let me come in. Please, this is Digital Access. We'll soon be wrapping up. We're trying to look at the issues surrounding artificial intelligence, tackling some of these issues. How do we mitigate a long-time risk that is coming in from artificial intelligence, especially when the machines begin to act more than, I think that's where the threat is, more than the humans. And then we're trying to compare the manufacturers and what is being manufactured. Now, there was a time they were asking Geoffrey, and Geoffrey made a statement. He said, yes, we are the ones making it, but his fear is when you begin to he doesn't know the extent to which these machines can go. Even if, like Ampo will say, that she doesn't understand why we're the ones commanding them to do what they are supposed to do.
Okay.
But Geoffrey is saying that with what they are innovating, what they are creating, you know that sometimes the fear of these machines going out of control, doing what they, you didn't command it to do, being manipulative, it manipulates you to make you believe that over time, when I believe that, like you say, 10 o'clock, this thing is going to work in. Every 10 o'clock, it works in. And then you now believe in it that 10 o'clock is going to work in. Right. And then when it doesn't work in at that time, you don't question what you have manufactured. You don't see it coming. So the question I'm trying to know is, like you are saying, that we question the people that manufacture. What about when it goes out of control?
So it's very simple. That's why I mentioned the issue of policies, right? Government organizations, they have what it takes to say, hey, before we introduce, for example, any AI-enabled tool, it has to, for example, take Nigeria, for example, have something called NAFDAC, right?
NAFDAC,
okay. So what are they trying to stop? So if they're not there, it's possible that I can just package poison and then put into the market. So you can have agencies like that will say, okay, fine, fantastic, you've built this. To be honest with you, I can, in the tech space, I can build an e-commerce platform and launch it tomorrow, as long as I register with CAC. But I can't do the same thing if I want to launch a fintech product. I will need a CBN license. So what are they trying to do? Is to ensure that CBN at least can help people monitor, right? And then checkmate the possibility of people trying to maybe take my BVN and all that. So the idea is simple. Government agencies will have to come up with policies and say, before we introduce this AI thing, before you've built this, but before it comes into the market, we're going to put it through a check. Okay. Right? To be sure. So there will be series of tests.
Like a prototype or something.
Exactly. So
you can check it over.
So they can tell you, these are the type of AI you can just build and launch. But the ones that can do this, and this, we have to put them through a check. So what I believe African countries, especially now, will have to start doing is to invest in developers, young people who are going, so that you'll be able to have good hands that can help you. Because
so we call it digital check, artificial intelligence checkers or something.
Because no matter how you do it, but it's just like when they say it's coming to take our jobs. Yeah. Right? The truth about it is that AI is not coming to take your job.
Why do you say so?
Now the truth is simple. It is someone that can use the AI tool that will take your job. Right? Okay. So when the computer came, this same noise, people were making noise about it. They were saying, hey, computer has created millions and millions of jobs. Yeah. All right. When Excel was introduced into the banking system, it wasn't Excel that started operating itself. What happened is that someone that learned how to operate Excel displaced someone in the banking sector who couldn't use.
Okay, now I'm just thinking you're talking about laws, which is more like your idea, suggestion of what can be done to tackle these issues.
Because there's nothing else you can do.
Are you serious?
Yes, because if I
are we saying that those laws
stop me as to what I can produce?
Like right now?
Yes, you cannot. I have my system with me. Yes. So you can't stop me from the codes I want to write. Right?
So we're saying that
but you can control what I can put out there.
With the laws you're talking about.
Right. So as new technologies advances, right? Government is supposed to be able to come up with policies that will check. You can't tell me that you just go and manufacture a gun and sell. There is something guiding that particular stuff. And so it's the same thing. But you can't stop them. You can't stop the individuals. You cannot. But you can actually now control what they can push into the market. And that's where Geoffrey is coming from. That's his fear. He understands that you can't stop a brilliant programmer. He has seen that if we produce this, it's going to help people. Right? But then there can be a problem along the line. So if you have a policy, if you have a system that can check it before it enters into the market and say, no, see, before you come into something like this, give us a plan B. What if it doesn't work? Okay. What if it malfunctions? What would be the whatever. So those things will now come in. So before you push your product into the market, and let me add this quickly. If you check ChatGPT, for example, or even Bard by Google, you will see it there. Google will tell you that, see, listen, this thing is still under.
Yeah, ChatGPT does that.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's part of the process. It's part of what they're trying to make sure they don't get into trouble. So if you get anything from there and you run with it, you don't go do your homework, your research, then you don't blame them, you blame yourself.
Now, some of these innovations by the likes of Elon Musk, this trending, and then people innovating some of these things that are questionable. Some persons will embrace it though. What is your thought about it?
Well, number one, I also need to
Do we say that these are people that are crazy over, they just stay because they can press buttons and things begin to work and they just begin to create all of this?
I think number one, we need to understand there is a power play.
Okay.
You heard when some of them came up and say, let's pause for 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months.
Why did they not accept? Because the truth is, if you accept to pause, I'm building something else at my backyard.
Okay, so I'm the one losing.
Within that conversation, Google launched Bard.
Yeah.
Right? Elon Musk is saying, don't worry, I'm coming, right? So why did you say let's pause for 6 months? So the idea is simple. America can tell China, stop everything about for now, but China knows that America maybe is actually building something. So it's a very serious power play, right? So when ChatGPT came, people said, oh, ChatGPT was coming to challenge Google. How long did it take Google to come up with Bard? As we speak, ChatGPT has just about 600 billion data. Google Bard has over 1 trillion.
Wow.
Right? Because it's Google. So their own is even dynamic. Apart from having that data like there, it also runs through the internet to feed you with results.
Okay.
You see that, right? So there is actually a form of power play. Everyone wants to conquer the market. Mark Zuckerberg is busy coming up with stuff, right?
Okay.
Elon Musk is going to be doing his own. Wozniacki, Apple, they're going to be doing their stuff. So the thing about it will be.
So we look forward to getting the laws, and hoping that the people that are pioneering all these things will do something about it.
That's right.
Thank you for coming. Just your last words to people out there concerning artificial intelligence, their innovations.
Okay, I think my last words are simple. Those that know me will know what my last word will be. I feel that AI is not against you, right? AI is for you. What we should do, especially in Africa, is to think of how we can take advantage of AI. But why doing that? Let's be human, because if there is anything that is going to go bad, it's actually the human beings that will cause the AI to do something bad. And we hope that will never come. Okay, everyone, the program is Digital Access. We've been speaking with Stewart Ezekiel. He is the team leader, Havoc Tech Hub. Good to have you. Hope to have you some other time. Thank you very much. Yes, we'll keep your words, Thank you. Okay. Join us same time next week for another interesting edition on the program, and bringing your opinions and suggestions. Join our live stream, NTAPH Channel 10. Look for Digital Access and tell us what you think about what we've talked about. Join us next week. My name is Phnc Kennedy.